Welcome to my channel. Enjoy this video and subscribe my channel. Director Denis Villeneuve's first two Dune movies adapt the first novel in the series, and Dune, Part 3 news confirms that he will adapt the second, Dune, Messiah. Though there are more than 24 books that comprise the Dune franchise, only the first 6 were written by original author Frank Herbert. The first two novels center on the character of Paul Atreides, Timothée Chalamet, the crux of Villeneuve's story as well. The Dune story has been adapted into movie and miniseries forms in the past, but Villeneuve's approach has turned the heady sci-fi/fantasy series into a bona fide Hollywood blockbuster. Dune, Part 2's impressive box office performance not only validates Villeneuve's vision for the franchise but also makes another film an absolute necessity. Dune, Part 3 could be a fitting cap to the trilogy because it would allow the Paul Atreides storyline to run its course without running up against the stranger aspects of the Dune book series found in later installments. Most recent Dune, Part 3 news as work continues on the highly anticipated threequel. The latest news finds Jason Momoa confirming he'll be back in Dune 3. The actor appeared in Dune as the Atreides sword master, Duncan Idaho, but he met his demise in the franchise's first installment. Now, Momoa said, "I'm making a comeback. You heard it first. Right here with you, baby." Meaning Idaho will appear in the currently gestating third film. This is in keeping with the events of Dune, Messiah, which sees Idaho returned as a clone, Gola, created by the Tleilaxu. Idaho's Gola is designed to destroy Paul by tempting him to become evil, and he is not meant to remember his previous life. However, as becomes a common theme in subsequent Dune sequels, Idaho's Golas have a habit of reverting to their previous personalities. Dune, Part 3 is confirmed in development while Villeneuve is eager to bring a complete story to life for Dune as a trilogy. Warner Brothers has not officially greenlit Dune, Part 3. However, with the reaction to Dune, Part 2 so overwhelmingly positive, WB will likely give the movie the go-ahead sooner rather than later. Furthermore, with Legendary confirming development was underway on the Part 3 script, it's only a matter of time before Warner Brothers gets on board. The director has hinted at a 2026 filming start time, but with so many things still up in the air, nothing is certain about Dune, Part 3's production. Dune, Part 3 cast details. Though Dune, Messiah is set 12 years after the events of the first Dune novel, most of the Dune, Part 3 cast could still be composed of actors from the first two films. Timothée Chalamet is expected to return as Paul Atreides to wrap up his fantastic arc, and Zendaya will need to return as his Freeman love, Shani. Additionally, Florence Pugh's Princess Irulan will also need to make a comeback, since her emotional journey throughout Book 3 is paramount to the rest of the story. The surprise casting of Anya Taylor-Joy in Dune, Part 2 saw her assume the role of Paul's sister, Alia. However, to compensate for the fact that Alia is merely an infant during the closing days of Frank Herbert's Dune, Taylor-Joy appears as a vision of Paul's sister from the future. This role will still provide issues for Dune, Part 3 since Alia is only a tween when the events of the story take place, even if she possesses the consciousness of an adult. It is unclear if Taylor-Joy will continue playing the role. Jason Momoa has confirmed that he'll be back as former Atreides swordmaster, Duncan Idaho, and he plays a crucial role in Dune, Messiah despite having died in the first movie. Idaho is resurrected as a clone or Gola by the Tleilaxu for the purpose of destroying Paul by tempting him to turn to evil. Golas are meant to be unaware of the previous lives, but Idaho's Gola is plagued by memories of who he was. Why Denis Villeneuve is stopping after Dune, Part 3. Denis Villeneuve has been very vocal about the fact that Dune, Part 3 will be the last movie he works on in the franchise, though it could be easy to chalk that up to a director simply wanting to work on other projects. It also speaks to the complicated nature of author Frank Herbert's sequels. Dune, Part 3 will adapt the second novel, Dune Messiah, which is ostensibly the end of Paul's storyline. However, things continue in the third book, Children of Dune, but the stories get increasingly difficult to adapt on film. By the time Book 4 rolls around, God Emperor of Dune, the story follows Paul's son, Emperor Leto II, as he has merged with the sandworms to become a colossal and seemingly undying creature. Not only would that be a hard sell for most audiences, it presents storytelling challenges since most of the story involves dense philosophy that isn't conducive to Hollywood blockbusters. Each successive sequel also jumps further and further into the future, making things hard to follow as thousands of years pass. Dune, Part 3 story details. By the time Dune Messiah begins, Paul Atreides isn't just a messiah-like figure envisioning the future. He's the emperor of the known universe. This prompts a religious fervor among his loyal followers, with the Freemen advocating for a war that will cause the death of billions.